I'm DaRon.
I'm Roniel. And in this episode, we're going to do a reaction on John Hammond, Don't Call Yourself a Hacker. And I also say when to call yourself a hacker. So we're going to look at this reaction video, and then we're going to kind of, piece down what our thoughts is and when we considered ourselves a hacker. I think I considered myself a hacker since I came out the womb. So, hey, whatever. But whenever you can consider yourself a hacker and if what he's saying is valid. Also, if you haven't already, get you some Aquafina water. It's always some new water. We always got to have some Wawa in your life. Okay. So just saying, and Aquafina, definitely, if you want to sponsor us, definitely sponsor us. I mean, any water company you can definitely sponsor.
We'll go elsewhere. We will switch to soda.
Soda is horrible, man.
Oh, yes, it is. But we'll do it anyway.
I remember the first time I drank some soda with nothing, like not thinking it was like pop. Oh, I was like rolling on the floor. Like, this is just horrible. Like, yes, it's disgusting.
But we will still lie. My moral compass is screwed up enough.
Oh, man. Yes. Yes. So definitely, if you want to sponsor our channel, definitely sponsor our channel. We talk about good stuff, and it's not just about water, but a lot of times it's about water.
At what point do you consider yourself a hacker? And this question comes from Twitter. This was actually tweeted out by Premier, or World Premier. He says, hey, one question I have for a few of the content pioneers of InfoSec.
I don't know why they're called content pioneers of InfoSec. What content did they pioneer?
A hacker? And he tagged Heath Adams, TCM Security.
Well, I guess the people look at them as the beginning of the whole content creation of cybersecurity when there were tons of stuff out there, and they were horrible, by the way. Just listen to some silly ass music and somebody in the background, like, come on. But they're not the first to put out videos, and they won't be the last.
Well, they weren't the first to put out content, period. And it doesn't matter if it was videos or not. We had magazines and bulletin boards and books, and the content has been out for a very long time. I don't understand why they're being called content pioneers.
Well, they're looking at it from just the standpoint of YouTube, pretty much. They can't look at it from any other point. Like TCM Security, he has not put out a book, or I don't even know if he had a blog. I didn't see anything, but I do know he has, he did a YouTube thing, which is the Cybersecurity Cyber Mentor. That's the same guy. John Hammond, like I said, I've had followed him for a while, and he was talking about OSCP. He was doing blogs on that. This is when he was just really getting started. So he didn't pioneer shit. Nahamsek is a bug bounty guy. I mean, he came about a while ago. What did he pioneer? Not a goddamn thing. They were already stuff. I mean, I'm just saying that I wouldn't call them pioneers. I would just call them people who contribute. That's it. That's it. That's all I can say.
Yeah. Well,
contribute their 2 cents.
Yeah, contributes in quotes.
Yeah.
Great folks in the scene. Hey, if you haven't heard Premier, it looks like he has a pretty cool channel, also showcasing some cybersecurity content. Go check it out.
Never heard of him.
Subscribe if you're interested.
But I don't pay attention to any of that stuff.
Wait, is he a black guy?
Yourself a hacker?
Looked like it.
Was it after
a Premier? You go, man. You go, black guy.
That sort of gave you permission or a blessing, and you felt like
it sounds like that would be racist if someone else said it.
Was it the
yeah, I mean, well, you don't see too many black people.
You go, black guy. It's a total language.
A hacker. So I will weigh in with my 2 cents. At what point do you consider yourself a hacker? You don't.
I've heard something like that. It wasn't black guy. But I've heard something like that said to me before.
What did they say? You go, mestizo. You go. Like,
actually, usually towel head is the word I hear, and I'm like, I'm not even Arab.
Whoa. Now that even sounds way worse. Towel head? Like, that sounds so derogatory. Like,
yes. Yes.
Oh, wow.
There's another term people use, sand, and then, N-word.
Are you a Tuscan Raider?
No.
That's what they want to call you? I mean, what the hell? Like, the towel head thing is that just blew me away.
If you were in or around the military scene, really from the start of the Afghan war until maybe 2015, that was actually a phrase you'd hear a lot, pointed at anyone who was Arab or looked Arab or had a turban of any way, any kind. And there were they used a lot of ugly terms, but I mean the ugly terms that were used toward the Vietnamese and Japanese, it unfortunately seems to be what happens.
Self-hacker. You just kind of keep doing it. And when it comes to the sub-questions there, was it after a certain certification, or was it some sort of milestone that you achieved that you feel like, hey, now I'm a hacker, or I can call myself a hacker? No, in my mind, you don't. And I have certifications, right? I have way too many certifications. I think I'm in the double digits. I'm past a baker's dozen at this point. You can Google that if you don't know what that is. And I wouldn't chest thump and say, hey, I'm a
13.
hacker. I don't go out and tout or say that.
I don't know why you'd have to tell everyone to Google that.
After
it's 13.
OSCP
a baker's dozen
or
is 13.
ECPPT or any certification or whatever that was a scratch and sniff sticker. In all reality, it was just cool. I got a little receipt and piece of paper that said, hey, I did this thing, but that's all it is. That's the same thing with a degree, by the way, in case anyone hasn't told you that yet.
It's actually not accurate.
Was there a person that you looked up to in the community?
Yeah, let's talk about that. That was something that was just kind of the way he said it was being in sarcastic way.
It was honestly diminutive, and it was diminutive for no reason. I understand, I think, what he's trying to get at, but there's a stark difference between a degree and a certification. Certification means you passed a test. There doesn't have to be any education tied to that. I can go off right now and challenge any certification I want, and I don't have to take their educational material or any educational material. Right now, I could go through and I could take the AWS security certification. I've never taken training for it. Yeah, I've used it actually since, I guess it's been 10 years. I've been using it for 10 years, AWS, but I've never taken training for it. And I could know nothing. Even if I hadn't used it, I could take it right now. And I could pass it, potentially. Because, I mean, people get lucky if nothing else, honestly. And
right.
They're not that hard. Certifications are passing a test. A degree is not passing a test. It's passing a lot of tests plus projects and homework and at least when you get into the 300, 400, 500, 600, so on and so forth level, you're having to actually sit in front of the teacher and hear them talk. It's only the 100s that there's so many people you could get away with not being present.
It ain't easy, especially if you're doing a computer science degree.
Mm-hmm.
We talking about project after projects, putting things together, understanding the underlying, things that to make things work from a code perspective. Yeah. Even from a cybersecurity client, TCP servers, malicious like malware, Trojan, we had to build all of those and then make them work.
Yeah.
And to do what they're supposed to with no references. And I'm just saying, from all of that perspective, whether it was just networking or setting up databases, building stuff like that, building software that does that, you got to do that. And then the final project, build something from scratch in about 2 to 3 months.
I think that there's only one case, one kind of college degree where he's maybe accurate in saying it's a piece of paper. And we'll discuss it more later, but there are three that semi-traditionally, there are two different competing systems. There's one system that's called the English system. You also hear it called liberal arts. It's actually not English. Yeah. It's based on the Greek and Latin, Greek and Roman version. And then the other version is the Prussian model. And then a third version arose semi-recently, and it was spurred on by SANS mostly. And that's a certification-based one. So if you get your degree from someplace where all you're doing are taking certifications, and we will talk about that in another episode, then he's right. That is just a piece of paper, and it's worth as much as the certifications that you got in order to get your degree. But that's a rarity. Most degree programs don't operate that way. So, yeah, he's casting aspersions where it doesn't make sense, and commonality where there is none.
Pass the torch. I've had people that I really admire and I look up to kind of say, "Hey, John, you're doing great work. It's evident what you're contributing and providing for the community and the industry," and that feels good.
I've never had someone say that.
That's really nice, and I appreciate that. But again, it's not something where I would hang my hat up and say, "I am this," because I'm not trying to sell to those people this idea that I am this thing that I think I am, because I want to prove that, I want to do that, and I want it to speak for itself, not just me trying to speak it into existence. You know what I mean? That actually plays with this other idea. Was it the general public or some work environment that sort of placed this title on you? So I think my official title for like my actual day job is senior security researcher, and I've made fun of that for the longest time because I think it's so silly when
you gave yourself that.
Yeah, my official title is subject matter expert or distinguished subject matter expert, depending on what organization you're talking to. Sorry, that was just funny. I thought that was funny.
It is funny. Like, I remember you saying that I'm subject matter expert, like, but they really have those type of titles. I think the titles are really funny. Like, you know, like you said, the best title is cybersecurity professional.
That's exactly what I always call myself, cybersecurity professional. It's short, sweet, to the point. You know.
Yeah, and it encompasses everything.
Right.
You know,
and I don't have a big head. I don't sound like a pompous jackass because I call myself a subject matter expert. That's like people who walk around wearing their degrees on their shirt or their certifications on their shirt, and they're like, "Yeah, I got a CISSP and a PhD," and it's like nobody cares.
They put the certs in the title.
Yeah, exactly. It's all over the place in every subject line.
Anyway, I mean, like I say, I don't really like the titles, but it is what it is. Like, I don't really like the consultant title or. None of them really. So, I mean, it's weird, but it is what it is. And as of lately, the security research thing has been a hot title. Now,
yeah,
the only thing I like about is the research part, because if you're actually doing research.
If you're a real security researcher, but that term got hijacked by the threat hunters to try to make it seem more sexy to suck people into that fucked up world.
Yes, blue team, you finally won one. Not meaning that you really won, but you won. Don't get me wrong, I've been on the blue team side too. I don't believe in trying to make anything more sexy. It's like, if it's not sexy, it's not sexy.
Yeah.
But it's still your damn job, so it doesn't really matter.
Exactly. So to his point, I want to say, I guess, a few different things. First and foremost, I've actually never had someone have the conversation he was discussing. That would be very awkward for me. I get told I'm doing good work, but for someone to say, and you're putting great stuff out for the community and all this other stuff, that would be, I don't like praise. If I get praise, it needs to be personal. It needs to be short, sweet, to the point, and not all. It's awkward otherwise. It makes me feel uncomfortable, actually. So you've been in meetings with me, and we're doing introductions. My introductions are always quite simply, "Hi, I'm Daniel."
That's it. You don't say nothing else. Like, they don't really get to know and understand who you are until you get into the conversation about the report,
right,
or the vulnerability, and go there, and then they like, "Oh, this guy. What did you say you did again?" Yes. They don't know your search, your titles, or nothing. He's like, "I'm Dan."
Yes, that's it. Every time, and they're always, and then as a result, they ignore me until all of a sudden, I'm talking and we're going at it, and they're all like, "Who did you say you were? What did you say you do?" But it wasn't important. That I didn't want you to know me because my silly little title. And that's why I don't call myself a hacker. That's why I don't run around saying, I'm a subject matter expert, or I'm a distinguished subject matter expert. I mean, again, those would sound pompous, but I don't call myself any of that stuff because it's just not who I am. It's not my personality. Now, I will say, as you said earlier, hacking is what you do. Being a hacker is based on what you do. So being a scientist, you can be a scientist and not have a science degree.
Right.
All you have to do is follow scientific protocol and the scientific method in a scientific way and produce some kind of research result, etc., etc., etc. And you can be a scientist. It's not difficult. Isaac Newton was doing science before being a scientist. In fact, actually, the gentleman scientist was a huge thing, and we got much of our science from that. And they weren't people who had science degrees, because now some did and some got them later on, and then they became members of various academies and all this other stuff. But in order to be called a scientist back then in that manner, usually you had to have a lot of money and land and all this other stuff. It's based solely on what you do and who you are. And this goes to a conversation we had before where I said, you don't let other people define you. I am mestizo. The Native American community as a whole has a real problem. Actually, the African American community has a very similar problem. So what makes you Native American? If you look legally, it's based on tribal association, but it's also based on residency, blood quantum, which, by the way, is racist. We got rid of the 1-drop rule and 1/8 rule and all of that other stuff for whether or not you were African, but we didn't for Native Americans for some reason. And like my wife, she's almost a solid 50%, but she would not count under US laws because her grandfather moved off the reservation. Her mother wasn't born on a reservation, and so she's not a member of the tribe. Well, she's still Native American. Her other tribes are all in Mexico. The U.S. doesn't recognize any of those tribes, so she's not Native American to them. My brother-in-law from Ecuador, who I could show you a picture of, he is Ecuadorian, and he's 100%. Absolutely, positively 100%. Doesn't count as Native American here in the United States because they don't recognize his tribes, because they're not from the United States. They don't have tribal recognition. So he's not Native American. Well, what is he? He's not European, so he's not white. What is he? Don't let other people define you. The same thing is true here. You are a hacker because it's who and what you are. Roniel over here, he's African American, black, whatever it is he chooses to be called, because that's who and what he is, not because society has decided, well, Roniel, you have enough percentage and enough culture, and you do this a certain way and that a certain way, and that's what makes you black. That was one of the, I thought, most touching moments that spoke to me anyway. I don't know if you remember one of the last episodes of The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Carlton was at that college, and he was getting mocked and derided because he acted white. And they excluded him and said he wasn't really black. And it's like, you don't get to define who he is. You don't know what his struggles are. You don't know what he does. Same thing here. It's none of your business. If someone's going through and they're hacking, and hacking means a lot of things. It isn't necessarily derogatory.
Right.
If you're hacking, I mean, you're a hacker. That's how this works. So long as you're not being a script kiddie, but that's not hacking.
And that's what I was saying in particular. So if anybody take that as, and I don't get if you take, he's not really a hacker because he's saying, I just said in particular, I don't really care to call myself the hacker term or not, but it is what I am. I know what I do, and I don't normally say anything about it. You know, I don't really go into what I have did or what I've done and what I do on a daily basis. This is what I do. If you know me, you know that all day long, every day, I am doing the same thing I do for work.
Yes.
Hacking. You know, you can barely get me off my computer. So, or something, even some other stuff. But I'm just saying in particular, this is what I do. I don't need somebody to tell me, oh, I'm a hacker. And it's something I had to learn. This is where you get out of the mentality of being a script kiddie.
Yes.
You know, everybody started somewhere, but when you're looking for somebody to give you that title or give you that ownership, you're still in that mindset. You know, you can't even get past the fact that, you know, you need to learn more and get better to become what you are. Right. You're thinking about, I need to find the fastest way to get to that name or that position or that thing. And it doesn't always work that way. You're going to have to take the route. You're going to have to learn. It's going to take patience. It's going to take time. But if you're hacking, it doesn't matter how long it takes. You are a hacker. It is what it is. You are hacking things.
Yes.
Okay, this is something you do. If you program, you code all day. That's what you love to do. That's all you think about, dream about, eat, shit, sleep, whatever. You are a programmer. Plain and simple. There's no discussion. You don't need John Hammond to tell you. You don't need us to tell you. You don't need anybody in the industry to tell you what you are because you do it every day, all day long. Who cares? Okay, and that's the point of this conversation. The video is too long to go through to talk about. He talks about a lot of stuff, but the main conversation I want to leave, or the main topic or issue that we want to leave you with, or things to think about is be you, be who you are. Don't let nobody tell you who you are. If you are a hacker, a programmer, a scientist, an engineer, whatever, whether you professionally do it or not, if you do this on a daily basis, you are what you are. Yeah. You are what you are. That's it.
Yeah. Yeah. Don't let other people define you. It is who you are and what you are defines you, period. It's not the government. It's not the people around you. It's not your family and friends. It's not your coworkers. It's quite literally what you do is what defines what titles you have, because these are all fake anyway. They're all ephemeral. They're just words. They're stupid words. I mean, who cares? I don't need to segregate myself from anyone else. I'm a cybersecurity professional, period.
It just is what it is. Be proud of who you are. Mm-hmm. Black, white, whatever. Mestizo, Latino, whatever the hell you are, doesn't. Be proud of what you are, what you do, and what you stand for. So that's our take on this. When you can call yourself a hacker. Call yourself a hacker now. Call yourself a hacker whenever the hell you want to. You don't need your peers to tell you what you are. Yeah. You don't need to have this this little issue everybody goes through with this impersonation and shit. Like if you are doing this and you're in the field or in the industry where you are, where you want to be, then you're there for a reason.
Yeah.
And the whole thing about this whole journey is that nobody's going to be an expert at everything. You know what I'm saying? So you're going to always continue learning. And if you don't like that, then again, you're in the wrong area.
Right.
This is with anything. So just to end off, be proud of who you are. And if you're a hacker, you're a hacker. That's it.
Yeah,
if you're a programmer, you're a programmer.
Just so don't put it on LinkedIn.
Yeah, you don't need to do that. You don't need to tell people anyway. Your work speaks. But I'm just saying in particular, you're in your room, we're in our area, whatever. If you're listening to somebody like him and you're thinking that you got to wait, no, you don't.
Right.
You're a hacker. But you don't have to tell everybody. Just show it through what you do. That's it. Yeah. Your work speaks for itself.
Be your own person. You don't need other people to validate your existence.
Right. But anyway, this is our time. I'm Roniel.
I'm DaRon.
And if you haven't already, please like, comment, and subscribe for more content like this. If you want to see other content or anything new or any different topics, please let us know in the comment section. And also, please get you some Wawa, Macafina, Lasana, whatever you like. And if you guys know any people that want to sponsor us, we do take sponsorship from these people. So please let us know because it's very important to keep yourself rejuvenated. Yes. Anyway.
Have fun.
Until the next time.
Have fun.
I wonder if the thing on the shirt, I wonder if that actually works.
I need to see
more.
Wonder
if the QR works.
You know, it's actually interesting because a lot of organizations have started to abuse QR codes now and are using it to do bad things.
I know, like, I was going to say that, you know, I wondered if it actually worked or if it was malicious. I know that the QR code malicious, they do a lot of things of embedding malicious stuff into QR codes. Especially being able to send you and route you to sites. I can do that now.
That's exactly right.
So, yeah.
Exactly right.
But he should probably watch out for that because, you know, you never know, man. Might be something malicious on your shirt.
It's true. It's true. It's Chinese made probably. So, you know, you never know what they slipped in there.
Yeah. Barcode man. There we go. All right. Back to it. If you program, you program. You may be a shitty programmer, but you still program.
Yeah.
Does not matter. Okay. You don't need somebody like him. You don't need somebody like me, DaRon, or anybody to tell you when the hell you can call yourself. Does not fucking matter. If you hack all day, you are a hacker. That's it. So be one, be happy. Stop with this. What do they call that? Imposter syndrome. Stop. I fucking hack all day. That's what I do. I do it for a living. I do it when I'm not doing it for a living. I do it all day. That's what I do. So guess what? I'm a fucking hacker. That's it. Plain and simple. It doesn't matter. Now, DaRon, on the other hand, would say I'm a fucking noob, but me, on the other hand, would say I'm a hacker. Okay. This is what I do. I also am a programmer. Whatever. I do all of those things. Does it mean that you're the greatest at it? No, but you're still a fucking hacker. So when he says that, you know, don't call yourself this, don't blah, 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 whatever. That doesn't matter. Whatever he's saying about don't call yourself unless you do this or blah, 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 or when you feel like you got to this level of contribute to society, you probably will never contribute to society. But that doesn't mean that you're not a hacker. So stop caring about contributing to society and just do what you love doing.
Do hackers contribute to society?
Are you asking me that question?
I mean,
I think they fuck up society if you ask me, but they make it better. Well, I say that is because they break shit.
Yeah, they break stuff.
But we push things past this limit that people wasn't thinking about. So I feel that you contribute when you're hacking anyway. The problem is do people want to accept that? When you find a vulnerability, do they accept that? You have to go through all these measures, even though you're trying to do good things, but do they accept that you found a vulnerability? Even a bug bounty. You could find a crazy, it's not real. It's false positive. This is not real. And then go fix that same vulnerability that they know is real. Yeah. So whether we contribute, which I do believe we do fuck up a lot of things, but we do contribute to society by any way it means necessary. It doesn't matter. But that doesn't mean society is going to accept what you contribute to.
Yeah.
No matter what you do, there's going to be some people out there that don't accept it, especially when we're talking about the Reddit stuff.
Yeah.
You literally gave an example of how people can follow a better path that is proven, and they did not accept that. And they still want to complain and tell you what it's not right. This is not this, and this is not that, and you don't know what you're talking about. Somebody who's in this field for a decade, you know, somebody's telling you that you don't know what you're talking about. So they don't accept your way or your thoughts about the things, no matter how much you contribute, and that's why people don't want to contribute.
That's true, because, actually.
You know.
To that point, actually, numerous times I've sat there and said, I just started on the Reddit Cybersecurity 22 days ago, and I have constantly regretted that decision. I like to help people, but most of the people on there don't know what they're talking about, and they purposely go after anyone who does, and they'll downvote the hell out of you, and then they'll just be bellicose and belligerent and all this other stuff. It's not worth my time. It's not worth my time. YouTube's in the same boat.